So behind the back, between the legs, in and out, dribble through the lane, skip through, play. So this type of excitement is typical of NBA 2K. So this was made by basketball enthusiast Jesse Jones, also known as Filet. So what he does is he takes 2K videos and he'll remix them with his voice in the background and he'll do covers of them saying Filet and a bunch of fun stuff like this. So I've owned 2K since NBA 2K9 came out in 2009. I've had it since then, and I've seen it grow and just become bigger and bigger as the years went by. So it means a lot to me, and also it's fun to play and just be competitive with it. So today I'm gonna be talking about how NBA 2K is a unique online basketball experience. First, I'm gonna be describing my career mode. Secondly, I'm gonna be describing the daily updates. And last, I'm gonna be talking about the graphics. So my first point is that NBA career mode. That NBA career mode is fun. So in NBA career mode, you can make your own play. You can pick his ethnicity, whether it be black, white, Mexican, Asian, orange, yellow, whatever he is. So you can make your own play. You can make him as tall as you want, 7 foot, as buff as you want. You can create his eyes, his facial hair, and everything. So after that's done, you can give him attributes. Like you give him Allen Iverson's handle, or LeBron James' strength, or Kobe Bryant's shot, which is my favorite part of the game. Because after I get done with that, then my play is unstoppable. So here, I should have made it bigger, but here's an example of creating a play. So this is you can pick his facial structure, his nose, his eyes, his hair, right there. And this is a picture of Kobe Bryant. You giving him a shot for him, and then if I was to show you a clip, you can see your player actually doing Kobe Bryant's shot for him, which is nice. So another thing about my career mode is that you can play an actual NBA season. So after you get done creating your player, you can pick your favorite college team that he can play for. So my favorite college team would be USC. So my player would play for USC. So he plays 5 games, and depending on how good he does, he'll get drafted to the NBA. So he might go in the first round or the second round. So once he gets drafted, it gets unique because you can play in the NBA season, you can practice with the team, you can do drills and request trades, or you can be cocky or laid back and just, you can see how it actually feels to be inside the mind of an NBA player, which is unique compared to NBA Live, which doesn't have a my career mode that is that in depth. So for my second point, I'm going to be talking about how NBA 2K updates every day in real life. So it keeps the same schedule. So it keeps the same schedule as it does in real life. So let's say when Gordon Hayward got injured, when Kobe Bryant got injured, the Lakers wouldn't have him. So they just be out without him. So that's cool because it keeps another thing that I like, another unique thing about the game is that, for NBA 2K ratings, depending on how hot or cold a player is, then the rating will go up. So let's say LeBron James just scored 50 points. So his 98 overall rating will go up to a 99. Or let's say the next game LeBron James scored 0 points, then his 98 will drop down to a 96, which is cool because it keeps in track of how the player is doing in the season with the game. So you're getting kind of that realistic approach on NBA 2K. So the NBA 2K rating system is created by a guy named Mike Stafford, who is a 2K rating specialist. So he says that, and I quote, "We rate all the individual attributes, and whatever we put through our formulas when we constantly tweak gives them the overall value." So this is what generates the ratings of the players. So everyday ratings, every day a player plays in the game, how good they do go through his system. And every day the ratings can change. So that's also a unique thing about NBA 2K. So lastly, I'll be talking to you about the graphics. So the graphics are really intense. You can see the sweat on the players, their faces, right here, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, their faces, if I could make it a little bigger, look exactly how they do in real life. And you can see the graphics. You can see the sweat, the tattoos, and everything. And I got a little clip to show you right now about the graphics. That's a little fillet right there. And one, fade away, spin move, got one on the ground. Okay. All right. So you guys saw a little bit of how it is, the graphics on NBA 2K, and it's really like realistic. Like it gets really intense. Like when I'm playing, I start yelling at the screen, I'll get into it, start going. I'll be like, come on, Steph, you gotta make that shot. I'll just get really into it, which is cool. The other dope thing about the graphics is that the height is actually represented good. So like in here, Steph Curry in real life is 6'3" and Kevin Durant is 7 foot. So you can actually see the height difference. Because in NBA Live 2K, they got the height messed up. So like, Nate Robinson, who's like 5'7", will be dunking on the 6'8" LeBron James, which does not make any sense at all. So in 2K18, it actually has the height perfect, like it's here. So, another thing about the graphics about NBA 2K that separates it from NBA Live and the other basketball video games is that you can create your own play and he can have his own outfits, which can represent your own unique style. Like this player is rocking a little shirt with the cutoff jorts, and this player is rocking a camo suit, which is cool because you can express your own personality through the play, which is also a really unique thing about NBA 2K. So, in conclusion, 2K provides the most unique experience in the world of basketball because you can play career mode, where you can create your own player, and it also can keep up with the day-to-day updates. And lastly, it has great graphics. So next time you think of NBA 2K, just think of Belay. So, I'm back. Am I supposed to white out or something?
You don't have to worry about it.
I just do this right here.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I was too tired to focus on this one.
So Art, what did you think?
It was very informative. You know, he had a lot of energy. You could tell he was excited to tell us about the game. He did get lost a couple times, but he bounced right back, which is good. You know, he got back to his point. And he was, I like how he explained basically how you can create your own character, how the graphics are, and that little clip at the end of how, you know, little preview of the game is. Makes me want to go buy an Xbox and buy one now.
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty happy with most of the speeches today. I think people are doing a good job. I like the quote that you have at the beginning, and the way you deliver it is fun. You identify the topic very clearly. You've got a good layout of what the supporting structure is going to be in the speech, so the introduction is solid. I do, of course, I gotta be honest with you, I'm probably the outlier in your class, in the audience here on this, because I do not play these games. I've never played any of these games. I have no familiarity with how they work. I don't watch people play these games online. I know the world is full of people who spend their time doing this kind of stuff, and so they probably understand some of the things you're talking about. My general guess is that you've described it pretty well. I just had a couple of questions. So, for example, you've got the live updating that's going on with the player statistics, and I assume that that comes out in the game somehow, and you talked about how their numbers, you know, their range would go up or down. So what I'm thinking is, so in the game, the shots would be made or wouldn't be made, or there would be X number of steals or rebounds or blocks or something like that based on what the real life updated stats would be. Okay, I just needed to have that explained to me a little bit more. I thought that that's what it meant.
Like the attributes will get better.
Yeah. So the attributes of the players that you're actually basing your team on and your players on would be reflected in the play in the game. That sort of thing. Otherwise, you would just say, like you said, I create your own player, and I'm going, well, I'll create a guy who every time he gets the ball scores a 3-pointer, and he steals every time the ball is played, and I would never lose. And I'm going, that can't be the way that this works. I thought the description that you had of the game, of the details, were pretty good. There was one section that sort of begged for a video or a demonstration. It's not really supposed to be a demonstration speech, but when you're talking about creating your player and you give them characteristics and looks and all those kinds of things, I'm thinking, I want to see this being done. It's like if I was starting the game and I'm going to go in and design my players themselves, and I'm going to give him this facial characteristic, these technical abilities, this uniform. It would be nice to have a 30-second sequence where you see you are adding all of those things, and whether we see like a visual representation, they get taller or shorter, or their nose grows or gets smaller, or their arms reach out, or they have bigger fingers or smaller fingers or something like that. That would be cool to see. It might be hard to do. That's probably why you don't do it. But you can see why that would be something that would be interesting to people, especially people who don't know anything about the game. Say, oh, so this is why this is how people get hooked into this, as opposed to, you're not just watching TV, electronic players move up and down. You are integrating yourself into the game, that sort of thing. And I think that would add a little bit more. I think you picked out one of the problems with the visuals yourself. Some of the images are a little bit smaller than they ought to be. You've got 3 images up at one time, and it probably would have been better to maybe have just one image up there and make it bigger so everybody can see those particular things. There were a couple of references to the game. You made the reference to the Filet, who does the mixes and that kind of stuff. I'm sure information comes from other places too. I know that most people probably learn about this and know this from playing the games, but my guess is that you could probably get some information from outside sources also. There have got to be gaming magazines and online sites where people are talking about this kind of stuff, and that would be helpful a bit. On the presentation stuff, Art mentioned it, you got stuck in a couple of places, but everybody gets stuck once in a while. That's not that big a deal. You figured out where you were going. The thing that I think worked best about your presentation is that even though you have to look at your notes sometimes, you're still talking to us and you're engaged with your own speech. So it's like, I'm talking about something that I'm interested in, and I'm glad to be talking about this, and you're having some fun talking about it. So even though you have to read a couple of times, the truth of the matter is it still comes across pretty effectively, because I think most people recognize that you are enjoying what you're talking about, even if you are nervous, because it's like you're talking about your game, what you do, what you like, and you're describing those kinds of things. And I think that's the kind of stuff that helps make your presentations more effective. So let's all shoot for that on those next go-rounds, okay? All right.